There was a little
TV
program. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, called Sherlock.
Well,
I
it's fair
wish
to
I
say that
hadn't
we're
heard
now
of it.
into 2016, aren't we? And this was the first major show of 2016, and oh boy.
Yes. Who wants
Oh,
to?
boy.
Who wants to take
Boy.
Sherlock?
I'm not.
Gary, go.
I didn't understand it. It was far too self-referential. I was
It
just...
was self-indulgent.
Should we
it's
just start by?
self-indulgent.
I'll just sort of set it up a bit
God,
before
yeah,
we
set it
knock
up.
it down.
Yeah, I might understand it if you said it.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well,
set
I'm
up
not
in-
going to go through the entire plot of the.
Oh damn
I'm not
it!
going to act it out. But this was the Abominable Bride, which was, by all in, it was set up. It was promoted as we're going back
It was
to the 19th century original Sherlock backdrop, with obviously going from the 21st century storytelling device that the series has used thus far. So we had the original Baker Street with Mark Freeman, Benedict Cumberbatch acting as the original Holmes and Watson. The costumes, all that jazz were as they were back then, as we're used to. But they didn't act, they weren't hamming it up. It was basically them wearing different costumes, playing the same characters. As Gary said, there was a lot of sort of self-referential bits to the stories that Watson had been writing. The main mystery about a bride coming back from the dead to get revenge on people, it was almost lost, wasn't it, when they revealed halfway through, oh, this is just sort of a drug-induced dream in the modern day Sherlock is having.
What's that thing he has? It's called his Dream Theatre or something, or his...
No,
Mind Palace.
Mind
Palace.
Dream Theatre.
Same thing.
Not quite.
That
but
was
I like
the point where I suddenly thought, am I on drugs? That was the point of the show where I thought, am I
Oh,
the
that
one
turkey's repeating, that's what you thought.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? And then when they, in the Victorian version, started mentioning modern things, then I got even more confused.
It was very jarring when they went in it. It was almost like, and I said this in the review I wrote for the website, thecustardv.com, go and check that out, that it almost felt at times like the writer Stephen Moffat was going, I bet you didn't see that coming. Oh, look at that, aren't I clever? Rather than just sort of present the odd twist and turn here and there, which is what I think what we liked about Sherlock when it first started in 2010, was that it was sort of grown-up storytelling that had a couple of twists and turns here and there, but at the end of the day, still, you were still invested in the stories. But I think here, the fact they kept going in and out, and I agree with you, Gary, it got more and more confusing when in modern day, when he went into the grave of the woman and then ended up in the Reichenbach Falls with Moriarty. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was if somebody like Stephen Moffat read Twitter one week and thought, I'll try and get all these references in there. Like, people were annoyed that the episode that was called the Reichenbach Falls that this new version didn't have like the famous waterfall scene that they had. So I'll put that in. I'll put in the reference to the dogs, the Hound of Baskervilles, because we remade that and it was different. And it's as if he kind of thought, well, I'll and it just felt confusing.
I liked the stuff when they were looking into the drug problems and stuff, because it's not something that they've touched on much thus far. And the stuff where it gets serious, the bits between the relationship between Sherlock and Watson, those are the bits which are what I like about Sherlock. But I just felt it was trying to be too clever for its own good, and I don't know if Luke wants to add anything, or you're just sort of sitting there simmering in.
I think Stephen Moffat, I know you praised him for that Doctor Who, but I think he is one of those sort of writers who thinks he's a lot cleverer than he is and tries to...
Come on, Luke Pressgang was amazing.
I've met him twice now in person, and he is very smug about the viewers, and it's very much he's the writer and you're the viewer. And
poor old Mark Gatiss, he's involved in this as well.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't write this one though,
did he? He spent too much time in a
fat suit on.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it, and it didn't get us any further forward. What I would have enjoyed was if it was just the Victorian stuff, because I think with a Christmas special, and we all knew what we were getting.
Like with Doctor Who, isn't it?
I could have lived if they did the Victorian stuff, and then right at the end, you realise it's him drugged up in his mind palace. The bit that got me was the fact that was like 2/3 of the way through the show.
I think what you're taking away from it, though, is that Moriarty isn't back. He isn't coming back as a character. It's someone
No,
else
but they could have done
using
that at the
him
very
as
start of
a
series
front.
4. No.
That's basically what you took away from the end of this episode. But to get there, using
That's what I took away
all
from
the
the
plot,
end.
and by the time then the reveal about the Abominable Bride storyline came, you didn't care about it because
No,
it was completely
you've been
irrelevant.
programmed to, this is all about Moriarty now.
Yeah.
Who cares about this other thing?
Yeah, you didn't give two hoots about the suffragettes, which was a shame because it was a good storyline.